Now, there are a couple of things about the story of the Pentecost that I'd like to point out this morning. The first is that the beauty of this story in Acts for me is that the miracle was not about speaking in gibberish. It was about speaking in a language to those different than you that could be understood. The miracle was that those present heard their own language being spoken by foreigners. The miracle was as much about the listening as it was about the speaking. The miracle was that even in their conflicting cultures and languages, even in their contradictions, when they spoke from their place of wonder, when they spoke from their experience of awe, when they spoke from their heart filled with what they would call spirit, filled with love and connection, they understood one another. And the differences remained and even added flavor to the story. The miracle was also connected to the law being handed down to Moses. The laws of Moses are for us to grapple with, along with our experience of the Spirit. The Bible is here for us to grapple with, and its richness and its contradictions. So placing it on this day says to me that we will have contradictions. What do we do when the law and our experience is in contradiction? How do we practice that coexistence of difference? How do we honor our experience as well as the experience of others with healthy boundaries that honor who we are and our own experience, but our hearts still open to each other and to change? The first way is to come to church. We try to weave the threads of our difference through worship on Sunday morning. Having new dimensions here helps us to do an even better job of recognizing the beauty in our diversity. To help us recognize that the many facets of this diamond reflect the light and the truth of God. We need one another. The second way that we can learn how to listen filled with Spirit is in our new branches model. How many of you went to the leadership retreat and were able to experience that model or have experienced it before? Okay. Branches groups are the All Souls version of small group ministry. They're a group of about 12 people who come together on a monthly basis and meet with 2 trained facilitators who are experienced in this model. The facilitators help to lead the group through an agenda that is directly connected to what happens on Sunday morning. The agenda focuses on the theme of the month. Now, we have 9 themes each church year, and they're introduced the first Sunday of the month in worship to the adults and in the story of all ages to the children. Then throughout the month, our children's religious education department has workshops on these themes for kids. Our monthly journal, Simple Gifts, has articles on these themes by the ministers and the staff, and poetry on the theme. Our alternative worship experience, Soulful Sundown, which happens on the first Friday of the month, explores the theme with film and drama and slam poetry and all kinds of music and a much looser order of service. And branches, our small groups, meet on the theme so that you can have an opportunity to speak in your own tongue, from your own experience about the theme. And the glory of the model is that we also learn how to listen from what I would call spirit. As everyone speaks from their own experience within this frame of listening and honoring the silence, something very holy happens. A web of connection is woven, and people begin to hear their own story in the very different stories of others. It is as though the tongue of fire descends on those speaking into our hearts, and we feel something holy in the room. Okay, maybe it's not that dramatic. But it does make space for all kinds of difference. This branches model makes room for the introvert and the extrovert, men and women, gay and straight, with all kinds of different experiences and different understandings of the world. And I have yet to go to a meeting like this without walking away in wonder Wonder at the glory of people and our diversity, and wonder at the glory of that very holy thing that unifies us all. Now, Marlon mentioned that you can have an opportunity today to experience this. I'll be leading 2 groups, one from 1 to 3 and one from 3 to 5. If you can't make either of those and you're still interested, please still go to the church office and let Megan know, and we will definitely contact you. But it's an opportunity for you to try it out one time before you commit to sign up for a group. It's structured so that the deepening of experience can occur, and the structure is not necessarily for everyone. And yet, I invite you to try it out and decide if it's for you. The beauty of this practice, and I do consider it to be a small group spiritual practice, is that the model acts as a container for all that difference. It allows an opportunity for it to coexist, to listen and be heard in a way that in a regular day-to-day experience just doesn't often offer. It's a structure that creates an opportunity to practice healthy boundaries between you and others, and still makes room for you to be influenced and changed by others' personal experience. It honors that each person has value and has valuable experience, and empowers the individual to weave their own thread of meaning using their experience and their reason and their conscience. So what happened at Pentecost is still happening. Even in a Unitarian church, maybe even more so here, because we recognize the miracle is in the speaking and the listening. The miracle is in the meaning that can be conveyed in the translation and extends well beyond it. The miracle is in our coexisting together. May we declare the wonders of God, the wonders of being human and being alive, and all of it in our own tongues. Amen.